Cyber Ninja Online, guys, and today we're here with RimWorld. This is a new game to my channel. If you don't know what it is, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's a simulator type game, and basically what happens is you get 3 colonists crash land on a planet, and you basically just got to try to get them to survive. Do what you got to do. There's not really a lot more to it. I'm going to explain a lot more as we go on, but yeah, so not going to want to do a too long intro because most of the stuff is going to take up a little bit anyway. So we're going to go ahead and create a world. This is the world we're going to be playing on. I don't really have any particular seeds in mind or anything, so I'm just going to completely randomize it. Make it as big as possible. We'll see what the outcome is here in a second. There we go. So we got Almasium. Not sure if I pronounced that right. So this is what our world looks like. It's kind of an odd shape here. Definitely gonna make it work. You got a whole bunch of different biomes. You got tropical rainforest, arid shrublands, desert, temperate forests. You got boreal forests, and you got ice sheets all the way up there, as well as tundra as well. That was redundant. Also extreme desert too, which get really hot and whatnot. Real quick, I'll show you the different types here. So this just shows all the different biomes by themselves. I already went through them all. Obviously, this is just ocean. This shows different elevation ratings. Really high ones, I believe. Yeah, 4,000. So the white ones are really high, and all these other ones are just kind of basic. That's a full view of everything. This is rainfall, so it shows you where the most rain happens. What am I looking at? 3,000, 2,000. So I'd say the most rain happens right about here. And then it kind of dies down the further out we get. And then last but not least, temperature. The warmer temperatures are definitely down here, with the colder temperatures being up there. Because if you'd imagine the equator being somewhere about here, all the warmer stuff down here, colder stuff up there. I mean, there is deserts up there, but they're on the colder side of the planet. So anyways, we're going to keep that world, so let's save and finish, and then we're going to jump into making a new colony here. The colony is what we're going to start off as. And real quick, I'm going to play with Phoebe Chillax for this first video, because I kind of want this first video to at least be a little bit easier and more favored to go well. So basically, the difference between all these storytellers is how they affect your game. So Randy Random will make anything random. Phoebe Chillax will make it more of an easier and I almost want to say slower playthrough. And then Cassandra Classic kind of makes it a steady increase. So we're going to be playing Phoebe Chillax. I'm going to go on rough. Rough is basically the normal difficulty here. You don't get any bonuses, you don't get any penalties, so we're going to go on rough. That's the world we made, so we're going to be selecting that world because we get to choose a location on this world. Now, normally I like to go for tropical rainforest, which is what I'm going to do for this first video. And I usually like to find myself a little tropical rainforest island, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I don't see too many islands down here. So, how about we go to the heart of the jungle right here. 431 meters up, average temperature 21 degrees. January gets 13, July gets 28. It's flat. A lot of rain. Limestone, marble, and sandstone's the stone types there, and it's growing periods all year round. So we're going to do that. Make it small. Start on spring. And permadeath mode basically means there's no saving. I can't go back on anything. If it happens, it happens. So we're going to play it like that. So we're going to select that. Now this is the create character screen. You can only customize their name, and you can roll for different abilities and stuff. There is a mod that lets you select, and I might play with that mod. But for now, I'm just going to do this as a vanilla playthrough. Now, for this first series on my channel, I'm going to want people incapable of nothing, just so that my playthrough goes smoother. So that's good. That's good. The only difference here is that this person has a scratch scar on the left arm, which basically affects their mood. They're going to be in a slight amount of pain. Don't ask me how. I mean, I have scars and it doesn't affect me whatsoever, but that's what it is. So we got 3 people. I'm going to give them nicknames. So we're going to be the first one, Ninja. The second one is going to be Slash. And the third one, let's go with Death. So let's take a quick look at everyone and then we'll start the game. So we're Antonio Ninja Cafalu. We're a male colonist of age 42. So as a child, we were a pickpocket. Ninja witnessed his parents' murder at a young age. With no guidance, he had to fend for himself any way possible. Joining a small group of misfits, he did whatever was necessary to survive. Because this was our backstory, we get bonuses for that on our different skills, so you can see them just underneath the story there. As an adult, we became a criminal surgeon. Being near many injured fellow criminals, Ninja took it upon himself to work on them. Although many people died, he did get better at using knives. So it seems like we've been a bad guy all of our life. We probably got that scratch scar somewhere in our line of work, I would imagine so. So Death's actually our sister, so we get a social bonus with that. Here's our skills here. It looks like we're best skill is melee fighting, and then our next best one is medicine. We're passionate about shooting and crafting. Nothing in research. Incapable of nothing. I already went over this. Some people can be incapable of certain things like social violence, dumb labor, and that basically affects what they can and can't do. So if I'm incapable of social, means I can't do social skill related jobs, which would mean negotiating, so that's wardening, talking to people, yada yada yada. Violence is obviously fighting. They don't do anything with any fighting. Dumb labor would be stuff like hauling, mining, construction. I believe growing doesn't count in that, but then we got traits here. So we're psychically hypersensitive. Ninja's mind is like a psychic turning fork. He is extremely sensitive to psychic phenomena. So we're plus 80% on our psychic sensitivity, which means if anything psychic happens, we'll be really affected by it. Oh god. Prostrophobia. That's another trait we have. So Ninja believes the human body is limited for a reason. To him, bionic body parts are unethical. Well, let's hope we don't have to amputate anyone there. So next we got Nathaniel / Hicklin. He's a male colonist of age 47. As a child, he was a bookworm. Slash spent his youth in the library, reading every book he could about the technical marvels of space travel, the engineering ingenuity of the space faring pioneers, and the horrible yet fascinating tales of the mechanoid races. God, I can't read it now. He vowed that one day he would see these things for himself. And then as an adult, he became an explorer. Coincidental. Slash traveled from planet to planet, gathering samples, stories, and research. He hoped one day to compile a record of every animal, planet, mineral, and machine and device in known space. The complete traveler's guide to the RimWorlds. And then his traits are trigger happy, so pew pew pew. Slash is a terrible shot, but he doesn't care because guns are awesome, which affects his shooting, and also his aiming time and his shooting accuracy. Holy. And he's also slowpoke. Slash is always falling behind the group whenever he goes anywhere, so his move speed's actually cut down a little bit. Looks like his best skill is research and melee. He's passionate about construction, and he's useless in social. Here we got Vicky, Death Cafalu, female colonist of age 46. So she's actually our older sister. Backstory: medieval slave. Death grew up pulling carts and digging holes on a medieval world. Simple manual labor is her oldest companion along with the master's lash. She didn't learn to read until age 9. And then as an adult became a veterinarian. Death treated sick and injured animals for a living. Seeing their suffering affected her stance on the practice of eating meat, and for many years she lived as a vegetarian, rejecting the meat-loving culinary tradition of her home world. So her traits include sanguine. Death is just naturally upbeat about her situation pretty much all the time, no matter what it is, so she gets a permanent mood effect of plus 12. She's cyclically dull, which means Death's mind is cyclically out of tune with others. She isn't as affected by psychic phenomena, so it's down 50%, and she's too smart. Death is too smart for her own good. She learns everything much faster than everyone, but can be quite eccentric. Global learning factor is up by 80%. Mental break threshold up by 12%. She's our brother. Her best skill is medicine and cooking. Not passionate about anything. Some pretty low skills, and she's useless in cooking actually. So Or sorry, she's good at medicine and construction. Sorry, not cooking. I believe I said cooking there. So without further ado, we're just about to jump into it right now. Okay. So, the three of you awake in your crypto sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown RimWorld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making a plan to survive. Let everyone pop out. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to pause the action here. We can pause it, play it normal, double speed, triple speed. I'm going to talk about the whole heads-up display in a second. This is going to be our world. Well, our area. Hopefully it will become our colony. Hopefully I can fill this up, make it nice and all that, but we'll see. So this first episode, unfortunately, is probably just going to be a lot of explanation. I'm going to try to get through it as quick as possible. I'm sorry if it's a lot of explanation, but this game, playing it and jumping right into it, it can be really complex. I'm going to try to break it down so it's not too bad for you guys, so you guys can kind of understand it a little better, and just to make it easier as we go through this playthrough here. This right there is actually a global clock, so this is the time in the real world. This is the time where I am at right now, so it's actually 9:19 at night, hence why it's in military time. So it's actually 10 degrees outside right now. It's actually kind of cold. Well, I would say cool. So it's clear skies, and then this is the actual in-game clock. So it's 6 o'clock in the morning, 1st of spring, 5500, guessing AD, obviously it's not BC. If you're looking at the bottom left above where it says architect, that's where you could see wherever I'm looking. So it will tell you the floor type and how well it's lit, as well as it will tell me wall type as well, if there's any wall there. These are the different speeds. So pause, play, double, and triple speed. This right here toggles animal display names. So if we have animals, it will display that. This one here will change that top left and categorize it to make it easier to understand. We're not going to be playing with that. That's basically just to make it easier on me. This one right here will automatically expand the home area around constructions. If you're trying to limit your base, then it's good to have this off. For me, it's a flat land and I'm going to be, doing whatever. So I'm just going to leave it off like that. This right here is a beauty, well, I shouldn't say beauty display. It's a room stats display. So if you have a room, unfortunately, there's no rooms here. I'll have to show it to you later. But basically, if this was closed in, I look over, it will tell me details about the room. So how impressive it is, how crampy it is, and all that other thing. This is beauty display. It can be a lot to look at as soon as you just look down at it. Basically, what it shows is how ugly or how beautiful environments are. So obviously, things like rocks just chilling around are huge negative impacts. Then you got like the grass being negative impacts, flowers being good impacts, different parts of the ship being really negative, stuff like that. I don't play with that on. This right here shows zones. You'll be seeing zones in just a second. So here we are. There's Ninja, Death, and Slash. We also got one animal with us. The name is Augusta. They're actually bonded to Slash, so this is technically Slash's animal. It's a male Labrador Retriever, and it's 9 years old. So, very important is the initial setup and everything about that. If you can kind of rally yourself and get your setup going good, then you're basically okay to start off with a good colony anyways, and I actually don't want to put that there. Yeah. Gonna make it easier on myself, so I won't put that there. The first thing I'm gonna do is build a stockpile zone, and basically what that's gonna do is anything I need to haul, so anything I own, I can bring here, and this is just, it's gonna sit in this area instead of having to go all over, Kingdom Come looking for it. I don't want anything rotten there. And then for corpses, I only want animal corpses for butchering when we get to that later. Everything else is good for now. Rename this to stockpile. And there we go. So next I'm going to want to put a dumping stockpile. This this isn't really important just yet, but just in case I need one, I'm going to plop it down. So we're going to throw it there. Going to go into storage. I don't want any rotten things there. I don't want any weapons there. Chunks are like rock stones and all that. And the only corpses I want here are mechanoid corpses. We'll get into that later, but basically you can disassemble mechanoid corpses for iron and I think components now too and whatnot. So next, a really big thing to do would be getting farms up. So I'm going to have to build some growing zones. We'll do a couple 3x10 zones right here. It's kind of hard to see because there's a lot of grass and stuff. So first one I'm going to do is potatoes. Get information here. They're basically the best crops to grow wherever you are. I don't want to say they're the fastest, but they're definitely, what the hell am I doing? They grow the easiest wherever. So it's going to be potatoes there. We're going to plant corn in this next one. And then lastly, I'm going to want to plant rice once I get there. There we go. And it's always nice to have some different foods here and there, so that's why I'm kind of doing this right now. What else? I don't need anything else from there yet. This wall's definitely not going to be big enough, but I'll go for it anyways. Okay. It's going to be one room right there. I'm going to want one room there, and then I'm going to need one more room after that. Let's go this way with it. Yeah, that would be... I think this is too big, actually. Yeah, it's too big. Get rid of that. Shorten it up a bit. And not everything's going to be, like, perfect and, you know, all lined up and shit, but for the time being, these might not even be their permanent bedrooms, but... So I'm going to make it all out of wood right now, because that's really the only thing I have really accessible to me. As time goes on, I'll be able to throw in other things there, like, furniture. Like, I'll be able to make things out of stone and whatnot, but unfortunately you don't start with that, surprisingly. So that's what I'm going to have to do for that. I'm going to need a lot more, but that's all I'm going to do for there. So for work, I'm going to want to turn on everything for everyone, and then I'm going to have to break it down a little bit better than that after the fact. Now, although I'm going to have everyone doing everything, I'm going to have to prioritize specifically for what I want done. So I always want people to be on the alert for firefights. That's in case anything starts catching fire. They'll run over there and immediately put it out, which is going to be extremely important right now because I'm going to have wooden houses, wooden shacks, I guess you'd call them. So that's going to be important. Patient, not so much. Basically what that means is if they're in any real health issues, they'll automatically go and rest. Bed rest is if they're in any non-threatening health issues, then yeah. I think we're going to make Death the #1 doctor. Even though we're a surgeon, he just has more experience than us. Flick is turning lights on and off. We don't need that right now. We don't have anyone to warden. Handle. I don't really need any good handlers. I need a cook, so Slash is going to have to be the cook for that. We can be the surgeon. We can be the hunter with Slash backing us up for that. Slash has a passion for construction and repair, but because he's cooking, I don't want to tie him up. So I'm actually going to make Death the construction and repair guy. Let's go like that for growing. Mining, let's go like that. Actually, I'm not going to need that much for mining. Plant cut. Ooh, I'm going to need plant cuts. This other stuff doesn't matter too much. He can definitely research if he has nothing else to do. I'm going to turn these on for him right now. I think that's good. Hauling and cleaning, I definitely want someone doing those, but for the time being, it's not a necessity. Now, this basically is, you can schedule people So we can schedule them to work at a certain time, have joy, sleep, whatever. I'm going to leave it on anything for any time because it's just easier for them that way. I haven't really found a significant difference. The only thing really being is that they're restricted to doing that stuff at certain times, but yeah. So this right here, what I'm doing is changing their mode to attack. So if anything comes to threaten them, instead of running away, they'll automatically attack back. Then animals, I want restricted only to the home areas, which are the blue areas lit up. Sorry. We're gonna train this in obedience, rescue, and haul. Obedience is just understanding our orders. Rescue is rescuing down people. Hauling is picking up stuff and bringing it. Release is sending them out to attack. I don't want to do that because I don't want to put Augusta into danger. So now I can't remember about the shooting skills. I believe Ninja was the hunter, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, I just gave Ninja a knife, which means he's almost always going to get injured, but oh well. Now next, all this stuff is forbidden, so I'm going to have to unforbid it. Basically, that means that they can interact with these items, which is what I want. What I have to look for is wood. There should have been a little shipment of wood that dropped down somewhere that I'm not seeing. It's here somewhere. Hello? Wood? There it is. Holy fuck, I'm blind. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let them gather their weapons like I told them to, and then they're immediately going to go and work. So Death is the constructor, sorry. So he's going to be working on this. These two are going to be working on planting. Basically how this works is these are the higher priority jobs, these are lower priority. They start here, and if they don't have anything to do with these jobs, then they go to the next one. What the numbers do is prioritize those specifically. So although this is high priority, if I had this set to 2 and this set to 1, he'll cook before he does firefighting. So if there's a fire, but he has to cook stuff, he'll cook before he has to put out that fire. So that's why I put firefighting number 1. But yeah, basically, so what's going on here is he'll do firefighting, cooking, growing, plant cutting, and research first. If he has nothing to do there, then he'll go handling, hunting, smithing, tailoring, crafting. If there's nothing there, he goes to 3, and if there's nothing there, he goes to 4. Never really have any 4s, but yeah. We're definitely going to be playing on higher speeds most of the time, but for now, I want to search around and unforbid as much of the resources as I can. Not too worried about threats right now. I'm more worried about resources. So, like I said, I'm going to be going around unforbidding anything I can, anything I can own, anything I can have. So I'm just kind of keeping my eye out for that. And one of the best things about being in a tropical rainforest is the animals. There's a crap ton of animals. So if you ever find yourself low on food, at least you have the animals to fall back onto, so I can do hunting for that. We're really not going to have to do hunting when we really start to, you know, get into the groove of things, because we're going to have our farms just producing at a steady rate. But for now, we're going to have to do some hunting a little bit as we go on here. I'm just going to let things pan out for a second, and then we're going to go ahead and kick up the speed and go from there. So like I said, we got Death making the bedrooms right now. That's what these are. And then I got Ninja and Slash working on the farms. This is rice, that's corn, potatoes. So, let's go ahead and kick up the speed now. This is probably how I'm going to be playing the game most of the time. Usually whenever I have a speed option, I'll always be playing on the fastest speed. Gotta go fast, you know how it is. But yeah. So we got cobras running around, we got monkeys. Boomalopes are like antelopes, except they explode upon death. We got chinchillas there. There should be wild boars running around. Oh, alpacas, cougars. Cougars are annoying. They will be the single thing to kill your pets while you're out here in the jungle. Or rainforest, sorry. I didn't see any wild boars on my first pass through, but there's definitely going to be wild boars here and there. Now, I don't know which bedroom's going to be death, but I'm going to want to put that sleeping spot there for now. You don't have to have a sleeping spot for your colony animal, but if you do, then they'll sleep in that spot. If you don't, then they'll just sleep wherever they want to. They finished with the planting, so now they're going to help out. We're going to make this one Ninja's bedroom. That's going to be Slash's. This is going to be Death, which means... Did I not put it there? Oh, yeah, I put it there. Animal sleeping spot. You can sleep in there. It's going to be Death's bed. Why I wanted to start here is I get to save a little bit of lumber, because I can use that back wall as an exterior wall. So it's going to be Slash's bedroom. Okay, so we basically finished our bedrooms before night, which is ideally what you want. I'm not going to pause the game. I'm going to let it run in the background here as I go on. So the next thing I really want to prioritize is getting ourselves a way to prepare food, have food, and all that fun stuff. So that means basically I'm going to need a kitchen, a place to store the food, so like a pantry, I guess you'd call it. It's going to be a walk-in closet, a walk-in freezer, but... And then also it's going to... How much wood do I have left, by the way? Doesn't look to be a lot. Maybe just the 8. Okay. So I'm going to want to chop some wood first. Order that stuff to be chopped. But yeah, so basically, I'm going to want like a kitchen next. So that's going to be what I'm going to prioritize working on for tomorrow. I'm just going to let them cut the wood so I have the wood at my disposal before I start, before I tell Death to start building the kitchen, the, what would you call it? I don't want to call it the dining room, the eating area, I guess, and then the walk-in freezer, like I said. Normally, off the hop, I would make sure to install, AC units, air conditioner units, because in the rainforest you'll get random heat wave spikes, which just absolutely, for some reason, they just happen, and it will put your colonists in bad mood, and obviously you'll put yourself in a risk of heat stroke, which is never a good thing, obviously. So that's usually why I have it, so they have a safe place to retreat. I'm not too worried about it right now because it's pretty cool outside right now. Also, I forgot to mention this. In the top left corner, you'll see our stockpile. Anything that's in that red box that I drew on the ground is counted. It doesn't mean we don't have any steel, which is obviously not counted. Food, medicine, wood, because we have more than 30 wood, I can guarantee it. So, like I said, it doesn't count anything that's not in the stockpile, but that's everything we have in the stockpile. So you see the silver there and then the wood. So now I'm going to get on prioritizing building my kitchen first. Actually, I'm just going to design it all. Let's build it. I want to build it relatively close to here. I don't want to build it here because I think it's going to clutter that too much. Let's go ahead and build it over here. So, if that's going to be the door there, going to need that. It's going to be a funky layout. Hold on a second. I'm going to need 3 for